What's up, guys? All right, welcome back to another tier list by SenVale. So this is going straight to the YouTube guys. So hey, today we're going to be talking about scopes in Rainbow Six Siege. So we're going to include maybe we'll talk attachments and barrels at the end, but we're not going to do a tier list for that. But we're going to focus the tier list on the optics. Which optics are the best? Which ones should go where? I'm going to have you guys in stream really vote on this. So we're going to talk about it. So I'm gonna go from the hip for some of these. Hollow, I feel like this hollow is a solid A tier. Like, it's just a normal tried and true hollow. It's not nothing too great, nothing too bad. It's okay, it's decent. Used in most situations, most of the people you see are going to run this hollow. This hollow is just great. I wouldn't say that it is anything higher than A tier. It's just very solid, middle of the road. The one that I know that is an S tier is the 1.5 scope. This is why it gets taken away from a bunch of games, or from a bunch of weapons. The 1.5 scope is an amazing weapon purely because it makes any poopy gun a great gun. The 1.5 scope is used in situations like where normal times you use a hollow, but also you kind of want the benefit of an Acog. It is the best sight in the game, and I will stand by that. I will fight you on this hill. That is the best sight in the game. 100%. This is why the hollow is an A tier, because the 1.5 is over it. All right, 2x. Personally, if I was doing a tier list for just myself or how I view it, I would put the 2x at C tier. I hate the 2x. I hate how big the plus sign is. I wish we could change the middle optic, but for now, I'm gonna place it at B tier. I don't think it's as good as hollow or as the 1.5, so I'm gonna place it at B tier because I know people are gonna get mad at me if I place it at C tier. It's good. It's on a lot of weapons. They changed. I used to love the Acog, the straight up Acog, which I don't see it here. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, I used to love the straight up Acog, but they raised the magnification for that Acog and made it like the 2x. So if this reticle was on the 2x, I'd move it up to A tier, but it's just not. So I just think it's some dookie. All right, 2.5 scope. I'm gonna go for this. I don't listen. Optics are mostly preference as long as you can get your kill with the gun. I think that it's fine, but I'm gonna go off of this, bro. This optic looks like like it's shooting through a goddamn nipple. I hate this scope. If I get this scope, I'm going to cry the entire round. I see some people run it, but I would much rather have a cleaner Acog like this because they're both 2.5x's. The 2.5, I'm gonna place next to the B tier because I think that overall the reticle is better than the 2x, but the magnification is better for the 2x than the 2.5. 2.5 is just too much magnification. It prevents you from like getting up in there. Like sometimes when you need to go for an aggressive play, like late round, you have to go for something. That extra magnification is gonna mess you up. I mean, 2.5 is the same thing, but the reticle is just, I think it's horrid. This is definitely not going to S tier. Ready? I'm sorry. Anything higher than 1.5 is B tier or lower for me. I kind of agree with that, but there are exceptions sometimes. Like, I think that some people would argue that the 2x would be an A tier, but for me it's a C tier. So like my middle ground is leaving it at the B tier. Like I hate this big plus sign. It's so hard to tell where enemies are at or where the bullets are actually going because it's just shooting like this with like a big plus sign in the middle of your face. Really makes me mad. Low key, the hollow truck sight is honestly growing on me. I think that it could potentially be higher than the normal OG hollow because I think it's a little bit skinnier, so you can see around your peripherals a little bit more and you can tell where that middle shot is. I think that might be better low key, but I think they're about equivalent. It kind of feels the same. It feels the same in my eyes. Yeah, 1.5 wins. This is not moving from S tier. I told you guys, I will fight you on this hill. This is not moving. So the 3x, I mean, that's easy. Do I need to talk about this? Why? Well, I mean, take every issue you have with this scope and this scope and combine them. Like, magnification is way too much and you can't see a goddamn thing on your reticle. It's just way too much going on. Sometimes you're better off with just a tiny little dot in the middle, bro. Like, this is just too much. This is way too much. Although A greater than 1.5, no. Sorry, no, it's just not. Red dot. I don't enjoy the red dot, but I like the simplicity of the red dot. I think it is up with those A tier optics. I mean, although 1X is usually pretty up there. I mean, I think you could run any one of these three reliably and do fairly well. I think you can do it fairly well. Mini hollow is really just obviously nowhere near old hollow. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're about this. They're about the same. I prefer this, but I don't think that it's a massive jump. Everyone just wanted to start a fight. This hollow, I saw someone run this hollow, but I'm going to be dead ass real quick. And I think that this shit is at best B tier. I hate this scope more than life itself. I would put it D tier, but some people can't use it because you just kind of ignore those red lines on the side and just focus on that red dot in the middle. And honestly, the scope is pretty slim fitting, so you can see around your peripherals pretty easily. Like, I think these scopes, your peripherals are a little obscured, but this is like the least amount. But you got like these little sidebars, which really kind of throw it off. It could be a C tier, but I'm gonna leave it at the bottom of the B tier list for now. So 3X is not a very good scope, but it goes well with the one gun it's on. No, I don't agree with that. I think that you're better off running a 1.5 or a 2X than running a 3X. I think a 3X is just too much magnification for a game like Siege, which is focused on mostly CQB. Like, there are no real sniper areas on this map. I mean, hell, there's Cali. Cali has her own scope by itself, which we're not even going to talk about today because it's its own thing. I just don't think that there should ever really be a reason to run a 3X. I mean, if you're gonna run a 3X, run it 2.5 like this. It's just gonna be a better vibe. Magnification is 0.5 less, but like, look at the difference in the optic rail. Like, you're never gonna need a 3X magnification. Reflex, I think it's still an A tier. I think this is fine. They're all kind of the same. I used to run Reflex before I swapped to Hollow. Like, these are the ones that I ran this all day, and I started running Hollow. Both are fine. I mean, there's no real issue with any of these. Like, you'll be fine most of the time. Like, it's not going to impact your gameplay in any negative way, but you're not going to feel like your gameplay is better with these scopes. So they're all just kind of middle of the road. They're just like, okay, these are fine. These scopes are where you start to feel like some of the downsides of some of the scopes. Like, the B tier is like, some of it, there's a lot of good features, but there are some bad features. And C tier is just, I can't think of very many good features. 1.5, I mean, I'm not going to do another 1.5. I mean, we already did 1.5s here. Like, but use red dot. I think there's just too much stuff going on. Russian Acog is also better than the normal Acog because it's skinnier. There's just too much stuff going on, and like, when things get frantic, it's hard to tell where you need to actually put your bullet. Same problem with this. Like, this has a lot of magnifications. It's 2.5 magnification. It has the same problem as this scope, but with a 1X magnification, you can kind of deal with it. I don't understand that extra stuff going on. Like, there's just too much going on in the scope that like just obscures our vision somewhat. But it is not as bad as when the magnification is still a 1X. So this hollow, this hollow really annoys me. I'm gonna be real. I think it's slim fitting, so you can see around your peripherals fairly well, but the fact that you're shooting at like the middle part of the scope is not there. Like, you're shooting at 3 lines, and like the way you're actually aiming is somewhere in the middle. Like, at range, like, you might not know exactly where your bullet needs to go. I mean, you can probably figure it out if you're a decent player, but it's a little off-putting, I think. I don't personally enjoy the scope at all. And then the Reflex, I think you get a little bit of the same problem as this, but it is slightly better. I think that this is at the bottom tier of A. I think it's the bottom of A, purely because like those extra lines are just kind of like, it's almost like this Reflex, but you have extra stuff that's just kind of in the way. So I think that you're better off running this than this. But I mean, like I said, like, any decent player can run any of these scopes and get away with it because they're decent. So, all right, guys, this is my tier list for the optics. It's a pretty fast one because, I mean, we're just talking optics. So I feel like this is why I think that they're doing so much of the balancing around the 1.5, because the 1.5 I used to hate it, like when I was a Nomad main and I swapped to Ayana, and Ayana has like on the ARX you have a 1.5 or a 1x, so I tried to use the 1.5 and I hated it at the start. Honestly, I am now a 1.5 crutch. I love my 1.5s. They're so good because you get a little bit of that extra ranged buff, but also it doesn't feel like you're missing the aspects of the hollow. So I think overall the 1.5 is superior in almost every situation I can think of. So let's talk flash shatters and barrels really quick. Barrels, sorry, I said that completely wrong. Let's talk vertical grips. Let's talk grips first. So we're gonna do grips and we're gonna do barrels. So grips, you have vertical grip and an angled grip. Let's talk about these two. You have a vertical grip and an angle grip. I think personally, I think vertical grip always. I think because the angle grips were nerfed lately, that they don't offer that much of an ADS speed bonus, and the vertical grip does, like, it does allow a lot of stability in the gun. Like if you want to really test out how the grip works with vertical grip versus non-vertical grip, run the ARX on Nomad and then run the ARX on Ayana, and you'll see what the vertical grip actually does. It is a massive change. The angle grip does provide a little bit of stability with a little bit faster ADS speed, but I don't think the ADS speed is that much. It's still powerful. Like, it's not bad, Alfie. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but the angle grip is better than not having a grip, obviously. But I think that the vertical grip personally wins out. All right, so let's talk barrels. Barrels, when you have flash, compensator, muzzle, and obviously no barrel or silencer. So I think that altogether, the flash hider wins out in most situations. The flash hider is the best, is like the middle of the road. Like when you want to tap fire, when you want a full auto, is the best because it, like, the first shot is a little jumpy, but it controls the next couple shots. Muzzle brake is good for that first shot, and then afterwards it's going to jump like crazy if you need a full auto. So the muzzle brake is a good tap fire barrel, but the flash hider is like the best of everything. Compensator is like your first shot is going to be ass, and then after that, like your full auto spray is going to be good. So like it's good on operators that like the recoil is way too uncontrollable, like Ella. Flash hider is good on everybody. Personally, like rule of thumb, run flash. You know something that most people don't talk about? The flash hider on your gun hides the flash on your gun. A lot of people don't talk about this, and it makes a big difference because I've died to this before and I realized, holy crap, I'm never in muzzle brake again. When it gets a little smoky because things are blowing up and things are going crazy, like when your gun's flashing out, like, and the flash kind of gets in your face, you can lose track of where the enemy goes sometimes. Like if they're like kind of scooping down to your right, you lose track of where the enemy went and you try to compensate, and sometimes you end up missing completely. So I like flash hider because it hides that flash personally. And let's say it's smoky and you're shooting an enemy through the smoke, they can figure out where you're at quickly. Like your target acquisition time on that person with a flash coming at them is a little bit faster. I think Tarkov is all about target acquisition and less about your aim. When you can see a target, you can usually kill your target normally. Yeah, there are still chasers, but it just helps a little bit. All right, suppressor is like the kind of like off one. Suppressor is sometimes good, but you got to be really careful with running the suppressor occasionally because you can get caught slacking a little bit. Suppressors are good when you want to try to get a jump on somebody. Like that's literally what it is. Like in a straight up firefight, a suppressor person is probably going to lose most of the time, unless they're going purely for headshots. The damage is just a lot lower. So, but the good thing about the suppressor, let's talk about the pros. You can shoot through the wall, you can shoot at people, and they're not going to get that indicator where they're getting shot from. All they're going to feel is damage. So they can react to whatever. So like when you shoot someone through the wall, they get an indicator where the bullets are coming from. But with a suppressor, they don't. So I think overall, in my eyes, flash hider wins out, followed by muzzle brake, followed by suppressor, followed by compensator. Depending on the gun, if the gun has massive recoil, try to run flash hider or compensator. If you're trying to be a little sneaky, maybe like trying to go do a little bit of nook or like some doke action, trying to be a little bit more sneakier out, run some suppressors maybe. I mean, doesn't hurt to try, but yeah, I think that's it, honestly. Most of the time when you're already going to be ADS before, yeah. So the ankle grip theory, honestly, is only good sometimes, because most of the time, personally, when I'm in a firefight, I'm not ADSing my gun up. I'm already ADS and I'm ready for a gunfight. So I feel like ankle grips are superior in lower elo, but at a higher elo, most of the time, people are going to have their guns up already. So you lose that bonus of bringing your gun up. I mean, you can make a little bit more faster, quicker moves and get your gun to your face a little bit faster with the ankle grip, but I think the vertical grip just wins out based on not missing your shots when your gun is actually up. So, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Teach their own. But yeah, guys, that's it. I mean, that's optics, barrels, and grips. So hope you guys learned a little bit on what to run. I'm SenVale, daily content on YouTube every day of the week. Every day of the week. I stream on Twitch every day of the week as well, starting around 10 p.m. EST. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and drop a like for more. Love you guys. Hey.